before jury is brought in. Judge, the messages at issue that the defense wants to get in, can't you redact them? Combs, Tenny Garagos, we shouldn't have it. It's consistent with our theory. They opened. Judge, they didn't open the door. AUSA Comey, on direct we elicited testimony about the end of the relationship in 2024. There were no texts, but oral communications. This self-serving voice note by the defendant should not come in. By December 2023, he was trying to make a record for litigation. Judge, what about Ms. Garagos questioning Jane about this, without introducing the voice note? AUSA Comey, that too might confuse the jury. The defendant was trying to feed Jane a narrative throughout their relationship. The hearsay rule precludes this. AUSA Comey, if the defendant wants to take the stand and subject himself to cross-examination, then fine. Judge, the questions without the voice note would not be for the truth of the matter asserted. AUSA Comey, this would be a backdoor way to get this in. Judge, so I agree with the government on those portions of the voice notes and order them excluded. Some questions will be permitted. If you feel there becomes a basis for introduction, you can call for a sidebar. Now, the U.S. wants more of Jane's notes or diary. Judge, once there is a motive to fabricate, the statements cannot come in as a prior consistent statement. This fact pattern does not appear to have previously arisen. 2 time periods. Defense argues it would be improper. They post-date the lawsuit. AUSA Comey, I know we are delayed in bringing the jury in, so I don't want to push about getting this in. Judge, go ahead and push. It's just that the government already put in a lot of messages on this. AUSA Comey, we want in her I felt obligated 98% of the time. Judge, I'm going to reserve. Now, can we bring in Jane? AUSA Comey, Your Honor, we made an application through your deputy. Judge, I think it is reflected on this post-it note. Judge, let's have a brief discussion in the robing room with Jane and Jane's counsel. Combs is Tenny Garagos. Can I come too? Judge, of course. 9:53 a.m. They are still in the robing room, but whatever is being discussed has not been docketed, despite this prior application by Inner-City Press. 9:59 a.m. Counsel, including to Jane, are still in the robing room with Judge Subramanian. Sean Combs has been taken by marshals back into the holding cell. Bathroom break, 10:05 a.m. Counsel are back from the robing room. Now Agnifilo, Shapiro, and Steele huddle around Combs, talking with him. A decision to be made. 10:08 a.m. Now Xavier Donaldson goes from middle to back table to talk with Combs. Meanwhile, Agnifilo is in the front talking with AUSA Comey. Jane still not on the witness stand. 10:29 a.m. Now Combs speaking one-on-one with Nicole Westmoreland as Driscoll and Xavier Donaldson stand between the tables. This all began before 10 a.m., more than half an hour now. 10:38 a.m. A moment ago, Combs was smiling, even laughing. Now he puts his head in his hands. 10:40 a.m. Judge, Ms. Garagos, are you ready to proceed? Combs, Agnifilo, he had this discussion in the back. Mr. Combs was not present. I would like to lodge this objection. We litigated this over pseudonyms. Judge, let's take a step back. Judge, I can clear this courtroom if we need to. Combs, Agnifilo, no need, I will conform my comments to open court. A reason trials and names are public is so people who were there can come forward. We objected to a pseudonym with Mia, now this. Combs, Agnifilo, the events in the hotel room on January 24, 2024, I appreciate the balancing, but we maintain the constitutional right to a fully public trial remains. We didn't consent to these events being not fully public. Combs, Agnifilo, part of the public nature of the trial is for the information to reach the public so other witnesses can come forward. I wanted my client to hear this. Judge, Ms. Comey, AUSA, Comey, as long as the answer remains no, we are fine. AUSA, Comey, their argument to say the name is an attempt to harass. Judge, and this event in the hotel is not one of the alleged acts of trafficking. It's just collateral. It's not a real concern. AUSA, Comey, the identity of those there is not a defense. All rise. Jurors, I apologize how long this took. We did things to save you time. Jane, you are still under oath. Proceed. Combs Tenia Garagos. Good morning. Let's look at your message where you said, I feel as your lover I wanted to please you. Push through. What you really wanted was the cuddle with Mr. Combs? Our intimate time. Tell me about the mobile TV you got him. It was an LG, cordless, you can move it around. And see your movies on it? Yes. After Cassie's lawsuit went public, how were things? I came to find out that another woman had the same experiences I had. I put that energy on him and he was already down, so resentment. Everything was hard. A hard month? Yes. Let's play the voice note. I don't want to be in a relationship like this. I don't want to make anyone feel like this. Let's end this cycle so you don't feel like I wasted your life. Are there more messages like this? Yes. Did Sean often say to you, I'm a solutions person, I just want solutions? Yes. You wrote, I tolerated. I took on a lot in those rooms. Please don't discredit me. And he wrote, never discredit you. Yes. You wrote that you wanted $100,000 for each year wasted here, and more $450,000. You wrote this, right? Yes. And you said you were thinking of hurting yourself, and he said don't. He cared. I don't know about that. You said you didn't have friends at that time. Objection. I can rephrase. You said you talked about your feelings with Sean because you didn't have other people? Okay. Sean still paid your rent? Yes. The $9,000 from Bear? You had known him from your modeling days? Yes. Did you have to do any work for the $9,000? No. The rapper you mentioned, he was close with Mr. Combs? Yes. Video played. No sound available to public. This rapper, they would record together. He's also an icon in the music industry. Yes. You went to the birthday with the rapper's wife or girlfriend. Did you know Anton traveled with them? Yes. And Mr. Combs knew? Yes. When Anton was having intercourse with the woman, how many people were in the room? 7 or 8, just watching. The rapper was flirting with you? Yes. You flashed your chest to the room. Who asked you to? It was just the moment. What did the rapper say to you? That he had always wanted to sleep with me. So he had a crush on you? Yes. How did you bring up Cabral Slide? They asked if I knew anyone else in the lifestyle. I said yes. At the time, I thought Cabral was a safe and confidential person. That was for the rapper and his partner. Yes. How did they know to ask you? Maybe they just picked up the energy or heard that Sean and I were into the lifestyle. You flew to Miami around the time of your birthday? Yes. He set up a grandiose birthday for you? Yes. There were candles on the walkway? It was very romantic. His heart was beating. Was your heart beating as well? Yes, I was just about to say that. It's all painted pink and silver. A 5-course dinner, what I wanted from my partner. No substances like ecstasy at the dinner? No, none. Afterward, you took a pill and he took a pill and Don came over? Yes, at 1 star. You said you were willing to have intercourse with Don because of the birthday party? Yes, it was nice. Garagos. This is between you and Paul Arthur, in which you asked, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? Jane, right? Garagos. You said you wanted to see Paul as a person. Jane, yes. Garagos. You said after Cassie's lawsuit you saw changes in Sean. Jane, yes. Garagos. You said Sean would write to you, I'm single, I'm polyamorous. And that hurt you? Jane, yes. Garagos. After the lawsuit, he went back to saying, we are in a relationship. You are my girlfriend. That meant a lot to you? Jane, it did. Garagos. When you saw the video of Mr. Combs laying hands on Cassie, you felt sick. Jane, I did. Garagos. That wasn't the man you knew, right? Jane, right. Now there's another sidebar discussion with the judge. They return. Garagos. You remained in contact with Mr. Combs after that video. Jane, yes. Garagos. You stayed in Miami with him for a few days and then left? Jane, I did. Garagos. He flew to LA in June with his kids? Jane, yes. Garagos. Fair to say Mr. Combs posted about his road trip with his kids on social media? Jane, yes. Garagos. This is a photo of how you set up the house, part by you, part by Jonathan? Jane, yes. Garagos. And this is a big bottle of Clico. Jane, yes. Garagos, and this is a photo out on the patio, right? Jane, yes. Garagos, you were drinking champagne? Jane, yes. Garagos, it was 8:30 p.m., already dark. Tequila shots, but no ecstasy, right? Jane, right. Garagos, Jonathan brought the candles? Jane, yes. Garagos, let's play the video. Video plays. Music and Combs' voice about the Boston Celtics. Garagos, half an hour later you were fighting, right? Jane, yes. Garagos, you testified you called him a predator even though you knew she wasn't underage. Jane, right. Garagos, and you pushed his head into the counter. Jane, I did. Garagos, you'd never had a physical altercation with him before that. Jane, I had not. Garagos, you pushed medium hard? Jane, yes. Garagos, and you threw a candle at him? Jane, yes. Garagos, when you say you locked the door, it was a button lock. Jane, yes. Garagos, so he didn't force open a physical lock, but it was a button. Jane, right. Garagos, what was he saying? Jane, that I was crazy. There was a lot of yelling. Garagos, you went into the closet? Jane, yes. Garagos, you take your workout seriously, right?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, but instead of putting on activewear, you put on a dress. Why?
Jane, because I could put it on easily.
Garagos, after the altercation, when you ran and hid behind the wall, where was your phone?
Jane, back inside the house.
Garagos, when you went back, did you see Mr. Combs?
Jane, he was outside on the street.
Garagos, this had been hours.
Jane, it had.
Garagos, you were angry and screaming, and you called him a predator?
Jane, I called him a monster.
Garagos, but he didn't kick you again?
Jane, he didn't.
Garagos, you punched him in the back of the head and he punched you?
Jane, he punched me twice.
Jay, break. Break. Jury out of the room? Jay, I'd like lead counsel and counsel for Jane to come to the robing room. Combs, Agnifilo, I'd like to do this in the presence of Mr. Combs. Comey, if this is about the issue we discussed in the robing room, we have concerns? Jay, okay, sidebar, 12:48 p.m. back from sidebar. Jay, I'm really just going to break for lunch. There's nothing to put on the record. Break. They're back. Headphones being set up in jury box. Defense wants to play something sealed at the end of their cross-examination. Judge, I understand the government says we can break earlier tomorrow, so we don't have to deal with evidentiary issues now. Let's just finish Jane's testimony. Bring the witness and jury back in. All rise. Garagos. While you were fighting, Mr. Combs was yelling, "You're trying to get me to never see my kids again, right?"
Jane, yes.
Garagos, you said he was dragging you by your hair, right?
Jane, yes. I was telling him to stop.
Garagos, you got his phone?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, and you called the woman in Miami?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, you asked her, did you go to the Grand Canyon with him? I'm asking you woman to woman.
Jane, yes.
Garagos, and she said, you're worrying about the wrong things, woman to woman?
Jane, yes. Jane, I told her, he's hurting me. Then Sean hung up the phone. She called back multiple times. His phone lit up.
Did she call you names?
Jane, yes.
Garagos, did you talk about her previous relationships?
Jane, maybe.
Garagos, then after you called Jonathan, you were in the shower naked, but Mr. Combs was in pants.
Jane, shorts.
Garagos, and you called him something offensive. Jane, just called him annoying. Garagos, okay, and then he slapped you? Jane, yes, hard. Garagos, then he told you to put on an outfit? Jane, yes. Garagos, and he grabbed your phone? Jane, he went into the messages and said hi to Anton in the thread. Garagos, this was about the night in January you flew to Las Vegas. Jane, yes. Garagos, how far is it from your house in the gated community to the gate? Jane, a minute or two. Garagos, so like half a mile. Jane, yes. I drove and let Anton in. Garagos, champagne and tequila, But still no drugs? Jane. Right. Garagos. You and Sean went into the bedroom. You told him you went to Vegas? Jane. Yes. Garagos. You told him you exposed your body? Jane. Not then. Garagos. You told him you'd referred Cabral to the other rapper? Jane. Not yet. Garagos. Did Mr. Combs yell, "How could you go to another man's gathering?" Jane. Yes, he yelled that. Garagos. Then you said Sean told you go out and be with him, and you said no? Jane. I said no. Then he pushed a pill in my face. Garagos. But you didn't have full intercourse with Anton? Jane. Not that kind. Garagos. You performed oral? Jane. Yes. Garagos.